As some of you may know, 3 months ago, my wife and I sold our house in Chattanooga, Tennessee. We gave away everything that we own except for this minivan. We've packed it with our 3 amazing children and camping supplies to go on a big tour throughout the national parks as we show the children the country, homeschool, and spend time in God's creation. The van is empty today because we've been at an Airbnb the last 2 nights after being in Sequoia Kings Canyon for 2 weeks, and we're about to enter into Yosemite National Park today for 2 weeks. So we thought we'd show you what the van looks like empty, what it looks like packed, and all the things we decided to bring with us. And here we are, the 3 favorite things we brought with us, Peter, Rebecca, and Paul. All right, so we're gonna go through just real quick, show you guys what we have. Bex, once you start over here, this is your area, right? Mm-hmm. So walk us through it real quick. What do you have? Just in general.
My bin for everything, like my fun stuff.
Fun stuff?
Clothes bin. This goes under my clothes bin, and then my backpack.
All right, so you have basically a shoe bin, a clothes bin, a fun bin, and a backpack. Do you miss all your stuff in Chattanooga, Tennessee? All right, who's next? Paulie? Yeah. No, yeah, Paulie. All right, we'll scoot over here. All right, Paulie has a little bit less.
So this is where I put some of my stuff, and this is my clothes bin where I put my backpack. It's not totally filled, and then in McCall, we have cubbies, so I have some stuff in there too.
Nice. All right, Peter, you're next. What do you got?
Fun bin, the same, clothes bin, and then into my backpack, I have a lot of stuff. And under my seat, there's a little green thing that I can put. It's like a little bag, and I put all my books and things I want in the car down there.
Nice. And are you missing your stuff from Chattanooga?
Kinda.
Honest answer. You're not?
Yeah, not exactly. Maybe a little, but not too much.
Do you like being on the road?
Uh-huh. It's quite fun.
All right, Mom's next.
I got my clothes bin. My toiletry bag goes under my seat up front. This is my pillow.
Because she lost, we custom made her and sewed her a pillow.
Yep.
She lost it.
And then
I
she
went to
put it in the
IKEA.
washing machine and
Anyway.
it popped
Yes,
up.
I'm excited to use it as it's puffy now. Then I have 2 bins here. I've got my winter clothes. These are all my pants. And then I've got my backpack, which most of it fits in different little areas around the car.
Lovely. Not to be undone in terms of minimalism, I have a backpack and I have a bin. And that's all of my clothes that I own except for what I'm wearing, and all of my personal items, fun items, aside from like rock climbing gear and stuff, which we have in a different category.
That's fun.
It is fun.
Yeah.
All right, over here we have shoes. So basically the kids are down to a pair of approach shoes and a pair of Chacos. So approach shoes are very similar to hiking shoes, but they're made by climbing companies. They have a softer rubber and they have a slightly stiffer construction. And so it's a little bit better for scrambling and easy rock climbing. And then Chacos are what we all have a second pair of. So basically the kids are all down to 2 pairs. Michelle weighs in with Chacos, flip-flops, approach shoes, and hiking shoes for 4 pairs.
That's
Yeah, but
pretty
you have
small
3,
for
mister.
a woman, I would say.
And then I'm down to Chacos and 2 pair of approach shoes. There's a reason for that. I bought these before we knew we were selling the house.
There's a reason for that. Solomon's are warmer than approach shoes.
And these are mesh, so they let in water, basically. So I purchased a second pair. And once these are worn out, I'll just have these and these. These are leather. The kids all have the leather version, which are, they don't breathe as well, but they're a little bit better for colder weather. So eventually I'll just be down to 2, and those will be the days. All right, so over here we have traveling guitar. Slav, love you. Thank you for that gift. It comes with a small Bluetooth speaker, which we use for music, but then also for guitar. We have 3 climbing ropes. These 2 are dynamic ropes for rock climbing. This is a rope for canyoneering. We have 6 harnesses, 1 for each of us, plus a guest harness if you want to come visit us. Our 5 helmets, our rock climbing shoes, and then all of the gear that we need when we go trad climbing, when we go sport climbing, when we go canyoneering and multi-pitching, and additional multi-pitching stuff there. And then we have kind of a backpacking style backpack that almost all of this fits in except for 2 of the ropes where we can carry it all to the crag. There we have our tent. This is a 6-person tent, REI Base Camp 6. This is our second one. Our first one got destroyed in a tornado a couple years ago, but we love this tent. This is all of our sleeping bags. So we have 5 high fill powered down sleeping bags. So they fit in just a relatively small bag because they compress down really well. Here we have pillow and bedding So basically we each have a backpacking style inflatable pad. We'll get into a bedding video in the future. And then we each kind of have like this blanket sleeping bag thing. And 4 of us have a pillow. I only have a pillowcase. I stuff it with clothes every night to save some space because I'm a backpacker at heart. Over here we have 2 homemade foam pads, basically a 1/8 inch open cell foam pad covered with some old tent material from our destroyed tent. It's just really nice to kind of lay out. It's kind of like a yoga mat, I guess. Anyway, that's nice for sitting around. 3 sort of backpacking style, but quite heavy steel chairs that we use around the campfire. We have 2 tarps. These are actually climbing tarps, so they keep the rope clean, but they work really good as picnic blankets, so it serves as a multi-use item. There is our stove, the Trangia, which we've made about, I don't know, 2,000 meals on before. This is our Jetboil coffee maker where we make coffee every morning. 2 thermoses, the thermi as we call them, to keep our coffee warm throughout the day. These are all of our kitchen utensils. And there's our plates and cutting board. And then water bottles. So we each have one of the Hydro Flask water bottles. We have found that these work really super good. And this more expensive version fits in all the cup holders, unlike the standard version. And then Michelle and I each have a taller one, which we use on back hiking trips so that we have a little bit of extra water with us. And then we keep one up front in the cup holder. Go ahead.
Okay, and then for food, we upgraded to this Igloo cooler, which keeps ice fresh and nice way longer. By that, I mean like a couple days. So we have that cooler filled up, and then we have our red cooler in the van that we keep stuff for as we're driving.
Center console cooler, 28-liter Igloo.
And then we have these 2 bins for food. So this one is packed up with rice and pasta and things that we won't need in the van. And then this one I usually keep with snacks and other things. And then when we really have a lot of food, I keep the bread in here and hook it over my seat so it doesn't get all smushed.
Nice.
Okay, and then the van has this awesome secret compartment that we put stuff that we don't need every day. Although we find ourselves going in there more often than we'd like.
Those are the worst words. I need to get back in the secret spot.
So we have to move everything out, but it's not that big a deal. So we have extra homeschooling stuff. This is like the kids' school books, and then I just rip out what they need for each, probably like 10 days. We've got extra wet wipes because we're going into Yosemite where we'll need those to clean things. Actually, that's our games, bear spray.
Just a couple odds and ends.
Extra stuff that we keep that we don't need all the time.
Tennis balls are for refluffing the sleeping bags, if you're wondering.
We only bought them like 4 times.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much everything that we own. And now we'll pack it in the car and we'll give you a quick tour so you know what that looks like. All right, well, that took us 15 minutes to get packed up. We don't always completely empty the car like that at Airbnbs. It depends on the Airbnb. So here's what the trunk looks like. What's quite interesting is everything there is climbing related. So you can see that the view for the driver is not obstructed at all. But if we weren't climbers, then we would actually have loads of room. So basically we have sleeping bags, bedding, a chair, climbing gear, the pads, chair, cooler, and then the tent, and then that's my stuff, a couple extra gallons of water, and then we use quite a lot of carabiners. I basically put up a rope along the whole headliner, and we have carabiners on ropes or strings that help secure stuff so that it doesn't move around too much while we're driving. I'll take you over, the kids are still finishing up, I'll take you over the drivers. So if you drill holes or use a Leatherman to the awl to make holes, you can pop zip ties through here, and I've made a bunch of loops to hang stuff, which has been pretty handy. We have a cooler as a center console, and a little green bucket in the front is like the perfect thing for, you know, wet dishes and just kind of a catch-all. We removed the navigation screen, so we have a little area here for the phone to sit and some other small things. You can see like there's lots of compartments that really aren't even packed. Yeah, here's where the guitar lives. It just hangs off of the buckle here. And I got a couple books. Yeah, so then basically the kids, so that's Paul's clothes bin, Peter's clothes bin. Then we have the 2 dry food bins, then Rebecca's bin and Michelle's bin. But Rebecca and Michelle's bin sit on top of those shoe bins that we got from IKEA. Then the kids each have kind of their own clear bin with all their stuff and their schooling in it. They can use those as ottomans. They can stack them. Yep, and then I sewed and added these kind of hanging baskets or hanging bags off the bottom of the seats. So the kids all have a place for some sleeves, things like that. Added a bunch of these zip ties again for the kids to hang different things. This is kind of a fun idea. We used some old chalk bags hanging off of where the seatbelts used to be. These are the kids' trash bags, and they also have some loops where they can keep a couple things like toothbrushes. And yeah, more carabiners off the back of the chairs, 4 extra water bottles, things like that.
And then there's outlets connected along the wall so we can do things. And then we have these to put the codes on.
Yeah, so the kids all have a laptop for homeschooling and other things. And I did quite a lot of work to run them electrical outlets all over. So here we have a place for them to charge their laptop and USB devices. And then I ran some 12-volt USBs kind of tucked away, hidden, almost like you'd have in an airplane where they're tucked away in little secret spots. All right, go ahead. On the other side?
Yeah, this is my side. So I've got books, my Bible, journal. Students made a cool strap for me. Then this has kind of become like whatever needs a home at the moment, which is really fun.
Nice.
Got my Rocky Tacky down there.
A little zip tie, yep.
Yeah. And then I have room under my seat for my toiletry bag.
Oh, yeah.
Extra toiletries.
So there used to be a subwoofer under her seat and a navigation control unit under mine. We took those out. So there's, I mean, when you're living in a space like this, there's quite a lot of space under there. Pretty happy to have it.
Yep, and then I use these for stuff that I use often.
Yeah.
Kleenex, paper towels, things like that.
Yeah, and then kind of behind the chairs can go some shoes. And this is kind of what that shoebox setup looks like. These are bins from IKEA. This is our second trip using these type of things. And then we recently discovered these. They're kind of, I think they call them shoe bins. And they collapse, so we had to reinforce them. But those bins sit on top of that quite nicely. And yeah, and then here's Becca's setup. Also places to hang stuff. These are like toothbrush holders that you would get for a shower, but we use them for other things. And then, yeah, we have this kind of string going across the entire roof of the vehicle. So we hang all kinds of things from there, wet clothes, yeah, gizmos and gadgets. And the kids rotate through taking the middle seat on for about a month before they switch to another side. So you kids happy back there? All right, well, that's the tour of the van and our stuff. Hope that was interesting to you. We'll probably do some videos in the future specifically about like what does our camp kitchen look like, what wardrobes did we bring, but hopefully that's interesting for you now. Take care, folks. God bless. Talk to you later.